broken mirrors lost inside the twisted game. But deep within we feel the shivers of a truth they cannot tame. Neon lights and coded lies try to keep us hypnotized, but the field begins to tear, and we're breaking out of their snare. Reality is bending, the truth is descending. We're tearing through the great disguise, seeing past the grand delusion, breaking free from all their lies. Welcome to the matrix of minds. We see through the shadows, leave the lies behind, breaking the fabric of reality's hold. We're the matrix minds, brave and bold. In the digital storm we stand tall, unveiling secrets they can't hide. The power crumbles, we watch it fall as we tear through their divide. Electric whispers in the night try to keep us from the light, but our spirits won't be chained through the chaos we've reclaimed. Reality is bending, the truth is descending. We're tearing through the great disguise, seeing past the grand delusion, breaking free from all their lies. Welcome to the matrix of minds. We see through the shadows, leave the lies behind, breaking the fabric of reality's hold. We're the matrix minds, brave and bold. Digital age, writing our own story, turning the page. Through the circuits we find our way. In the matrix we'll seize the day. Reality is bending, the truth is descending. We're tearing through the great disguise, seeing past the grand delusion, breaking free from all their lies. Welcome to the matrix of minds. We see through the shadows, leave the lies behind, breaking the
Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Damn, man. Here we go. Indeed, it is Friday, brains. Oh, yeah. Friday night, and you are with me and a good friend of mine that I have been introduced through another friend of ours. Well, Mr. James Roundtree. We call him Beach Chicken up in here. He says howdy, and you guys can't even hear him yet. Not yet, anyway. But nevertheless, I want to go over a little. As I asked Mr. Roundtree, our buddy here, I'm like, give me a little bio on you, bro. I know a little bit about your music connection, yada yada yada. And so I gave Sam James's bio, and I'm like, James. I know James. James is a little bit, James is funny. James is outgoing, yada yada. Right? And I said, so let's see what we can't do with his bio. So Sam come up with the description of tonight's broadcast. I gotta share this. It's quite funny. And on top of that, you should. Well, I don't know if he'll be able to hear it or not. But yeah, I will play it for him on the mic. But nevertheless, tonight's description, right? This is again pumped through Sam. She's like 10 out of the Matrix Minds. Matthew sits down with the one and only Roundtree, a.k.a. James Roundtree, Beach Chicken. Okay? A man whose life has been louder than the amps that he's hauled and deeper than the bass lines that he's laid down. From rocking his first instrument at age 7 to running a full-scale production with Secret Service clearance, this dude has seen it all as a stagehand. Paralegal, he's a healer, master mason, and yes, a doodlebot with credentials. That's what she said. This is okay. We'll dig into the chaos. We'll dig into his chaos, into his craft, and into the consciousness of the man who's lived 20 lives in one: music industry, mysticism, and the madness there in between. Whether he's wrangling stage crews, navigating the astral planes, or finishing the honeydews list, that would be Miss Morgan, Captain Morgan, right? Or fighting the honeydew listic like a domestic ninja. That was it. Shit. Right? Beach Chicken brings the fire and brings the feathers along with it. So tune in for the laughs. Maybe we'll learn something. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just levitate to some humor. But nevertheless, tonight we bring to the table our good friend, Mr. James Roundtree. You guys don't go anywhere. Share this broadcast. Let's have some fun on the other side of this, Mr. James Roundtree, a.k.a. Beach Chicken. Sam's word, sunburnt sage, beach chicken. Y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. What do you say, Brainiacs? You guys ready? It's time. It's showtime, brains. That's right. It's Matrix time. And it's go time. Welcome aboard, everybody. Let's go! Talk about ufology, conspiracy, controversy, and anything and everything that we can get into tonight. Let's go. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Get up, Brainiac. Yeah. It's definitely your show. Your show, and we appreciate you for being here. Buckle up, everybody. Yeah, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, Mr. James Roundtree. Let me go over there, go back to the screen, because right now everybody's seeing nothing but black. There you are. What up?
What's happening?
How are you? I'm glad to have you up in here like this. This is really cool.
I'm honored to be here, man. Thank you for asking me.
You're welcome, man. I've been wanting to do this discussion with you. We've been talking about this for probably a year. Right. Talking about music, talking about your life, my life, our lives in the music industry, in the production of things. But I've not been in the production side of things like you.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, you produce a show, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, man. It's just the way you've done, dude. You have seen so many stages. It's unreal.
I would agree with that.
I mean, I'm for real, dude. You know, and I can honestly say that the furthest my band has ever traveled is 2 states away, and I swear to you, I thought that I was like Bob Seger at that point. I'm like, I'm like, nothing gonna stop me now. Wrong. It was called Age and Marriage. Right. Something stopped me now. But Sam's got something to say to you. Sam's got something to say to you. So I listened to it. This is absolutely hilarious. This is straight to you. So just letting you know. Oops, right. Hang on. Damn it. Let me get to it. Here it is. Maybe. There we go. Here we go.
Oh, hell yes. Roll this on the show. Here we go. Hey, beach chicken, or should I say sunburnt stage god, it's Sam. And I just want you to know, I'm one of your biggest chicks. Fans. Total slip of the beak. You've rocked more stages than most people have walked across, and tonight, you're about to lay down the legend live. So puff that chest, plug in that bass, and give 'em the feathers, baby. Matrix Minds loves ya, and so do I. Let me know if you want a version with a voiceover later, too.
Wow.
Oh, my God. Miss Morgan says, howdy, baby love.
Hey, my love.
Oh my God. So yeah,
Broadcasting from the back porch.
that's okay. It's all right. Just don't do. Well, actually, I'm good. I'm good with all of you guests that smoke, because I do believe that is one of the reasons I started vaping and like just I don't know. I used to like be able to smoke, but I can't do that. I can't do that now because my wife don't like me to smoke in the house, so I respect her wishes, right? And I just yeah. All right, so check it out. Let's go back to age 7.
Yeah. What a year.
What the heck? The age. You're age 7. Let me ask first of all. Going back, is that when you got into music, or is that whenever you picked up the guitar?
Well, that's when my mom and them bought, like, I don't know if you remember those old organs where you had the keyboard, and then on the side you had the little buttons for the chords, and you'd play, like, you'd hit the button and play the chord, and then play the keys on the side. And they had, like, I'm going back a ways. This is 1970s, showing my age, and it wasn't much, but they'd have the song books with it, and it'd show you how to play the songs and all, and that's what I started on. And although I like to tell people I started on keyboards because it sounds kind of sexy.
I started on this little Fisher Price thing.
Right.
It's like I used to beat up a Hello Kitty drum kit.
Right. It wasn't much. I tell you, it wasn't much more than Fisher Price. But yeah, I started on that, and that's where I started learning, like, basically how music went. And then at 10, I started playing guitar because they had some kids down the street that played guitar, and I thought it was pretty neat. And then 13, I picked up bass for a little while, put it back down, and then picked it up again at 19, and that's my main instrument. I still play guitar, and I still can play a little keyboard, but bass is my thing.
Bass is the thing. Miss Morgan didn't get to hear me say this, but when you and I were off air yet. You're like, I don't want to be on camera. You're like, just ugly son of a bitch. Blah blah blah. I'm going, no, bro. I said, no. I said, look at that sexy motherfucker down below me. And then you said something to me, and I'm like, well, obviously, Morgan picked you over the guitar player, or the drummer, or the saxophone, whatever, wherever.
I know.
So there you
over the singer. Yeah, I know.
The singer. Think about it, bro. You got you got the girl. So.
Right.
When
bass player wins.
Score. So listen, at age 7. So when did you get your first guitar?
Well, I've got pictures of me with this little goofy guitar when I was like 4 or 5 years old, but I wouldn't consider that my first guitar because I didn't really play it. I just kind of pounded on it and used it like a toy. Probably at 10 years old, because you could take guitar as an elective, and at school. So I signed up for it. My mom got me like a classical guitar with like the nylon strings, and that was the first one, man. And I played that thing, I played that thing so much the back of it started cracking off, and by the time we got to the end of the year in the lessons, it almost had a distorted sound. Like the other guys in the class were kind of like jealous of me because I had like this distorted guitar, this distorted classical guitar. And I was like, nah, man, it's falling apart. It's like, oh, it sounds cool, But so, yeah, that was my first one. I got my first bass probably not too long after that because one semester was bass lessons. So my mom went and got me one of those little Sears basses, and
in school?
Short scale. Yeah, we'd have to take off like 2 of the strings and then play bass and then put the 2 strings back on and go back to guitar after.
Oh, bro, we never had that kind of shit in school for me. We started, I don't know why, but the xylophone. All of the damn percussionists had to start with the damn tink, 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 little xylophone type looking bullshit. And I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me. I had a drum kit prior to even getting into that. I'm like, what?
It starts with hitting on things. I mean, dude.
Oh, I hit on shit. Oh.
See, I wanted to play drums originally because I was always like in my room and I'd grab a couple of pencils and I'd be tapping on stuff and all. And, I guess my mom was like, there's no way I'm getting this boy a drum set, and so.
Was it because of the noise? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I guarantee you it was. I mean, we lived in a trailer. That shit would have been loud as hell,
Yeah.
So, I guess when I started talking about guitar, she was like, okay, yeah, we can do guitar.
Guitar. Yeah. See, I think that's one of the reasons why well, besides my knees.
Right.
My knees, dude. Oh man, dude. At 50.
Right.
Yeah, I've been playing off and on shit since I was 12, 13.
Right.
And then got into double bass at like 15, 16. Yeah, dude.
Right.
That's your drummer. You ask him how his knees are.
Oh yeah,
they're shot.
He's starting to struggle. He's about your age, and he's starting to get it. And my old drummer Levi, who's a little bit older, he's been wearing knee pads for, probably a dozen years now.
Right.
And it's one of those things, man. Drums are the most physical instrument, without a doubt. You're using your entire body, and it's a cardio workout. I mean,
yeah, man.
But yeah, I always wanted to be a drummer, man. I never had the coordination though. I suck at drums. Me and some friends of mine did a jam night one night down in Bayou, and we just got up on stage screwing around, and I got on drums. We all picked an instrument we couldn't do. And
God.
Like my friend Doug, he's a singer. He got on guitar. My friend Steve, he really didn't play anything. He got on vocals, and I got on drums. And we call ourselves Blood Fart.
Blood. Hello, Steve.
We're playing a song. We're just making shit up. We just made up. I knew one beat, and I kept playing the same beat over and over again. And after we were done, some dude walks up and says, "Man, you guys sound pretty good, but your drummer sucks."
Oh man!
I was like, "Yeah, he sure does."
Shout out to our buddy Steve up in Canada. Yeah, man. Steve, come up on here. The one instrument that I have always had a bitch of playing is a keyboard. I mean, I do. I mean, I'm okay with it, I guess. But man, dude, even Sam's told me, because we talk about a lot of shit. Music is one of them, and she's like, just learn, just try to put down on the key what you hear in your head.
Right.
And I'm like, even tone-wise on drums, it's hard to do. It's very hard to do. I think that's one of the reasons. Dude, you've seen my drum kit? My drum kit is massive. So, and the reason I've got a low tom, mid tom, I'm talking a low tom, a mid tom. Even between that, a lower tom, and then usually 2 floor toms. Dude, I mean, whenever I go around the world, I mean, it is literally around the world. So I've got a high tone, low tom. Okay, so 3. You know what I'm talking about? I don't do the roto toms. Larry, shout out to Larry. Larry wants roto toms. I'm like, no, hell no. I ain't into that shit. I ain't trying to tune them little. So yeah, hell no.
I can imagine tuning them or painting. I like the sound of rototoms. I think they definitely have their place, but I can imagine tuning them's got to suck.
Oh, without a doubt. Because how do you tune the damn things? How do you tune a not? Put it this way. Let me say this. How do you tune an out of tune drum?
Right, exactly. Because it is slightly out of tune. It's not like it's not like you can find a specific note on it. You just kind of get in the area, and then and hope for the best.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like a fart in the damn wind. We'll just tighten it down to use one of the Ludwig auto tuners.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Right? No, hell no.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't always carry an auto tuner around with you. I mean, you gig in town to town. you just got to have something you could do real quick and set up.
Well, I do. I know I do. And it's called this. Well, look at I'm like ding 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 ding.
Right,
ding,
right.
ding, ding, right? Ear and your ear and the side of my rim. The ding 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 ding.
Right.
Yeah. Don't.
Right.
Well, that's a ding ding ding. Okay, so enough about me. You are one of the reasons I did want to go and pick up my bass again. I had a bass, put it away, and then you knew I sold my guitar for Christmas. Right. But you are one of the reasons why I bought this I bought my my Jackson bass. Honest to God, dude. I'm like, I got it. My knees are hurting. I know that Morgan's better half, worse half, whatever half, her half. Great. I mean, I've seen the stuff. So I love playing guitar. But you are what would help me influence me to get into bass. Truly. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. I'm glad.
That was 2.5 years ago, by the way.
Wow, no kidding. It's been that long.
Yeah, dude. I just got to thinking it's been around 2.5 years since something like that.
That's crazy.
No BC. What's that? No. What's Steve saying? No BC. I don't know what he meant by that. Oh,
that Canada.
Yeah, I hear a bird of BC, Saskatchewan. Want to join? I hope it happens for y'all guys. Oh, okay. I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back, what is the picture? I grabbed some of your photos, but I did not grab your baby.
My baby.
Yep, your guitar. Well, your second baby.
My Rickenbacker?
Yep. Didn't grab that photo. I should, but I didn't.
Right.
How long you had that beast, bro?
Since 2018. And the only I call it mom because the only reason I was actually able to afford it is my mom died and she left me a little bit of insurance money. And so I said, well, she would have been more than happy to see me buy that. So, but yeah, I got it in 2018, and man, that's the bass I always wanted. Because when I started back on bass at 19, it was because a friend of mine was moving to Florida, and he had a Rickenbacker, and he had one of the big Ampeg cabinets, speaker cabinets, and an old PV amp. And he left it with me. He said, yeah, he goes, look, can you hold it for like 6 months, and he goes, you can play it if you want. And I was in guitar at the time, I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I picked it up, fiddled around. And then I saw the Cliff 'Em All video, the tribute to Cliff Burton from Metallica. And he's playing that exact same bass. I'm like, oh, man, I could do that. So I went and picked it up. And, man, I loved it. And then he came and got all the gear. And then I said, well, man, I got to get me a bass, So I ended up going through, I don't know how many different types of basses. I've owned Peavies, Hamers, Ibanez, Yamaha, all this stuff. And it never felt or sounded like that original bass. And when I played that Rick for the first time, I just figured, oh, well, this is what, most basses sound and feel like. It's like, nah, man, that Rickenbacker is totally different. It's got a totally different sound, feel. It is completely different from every other bass out there. And once I got it again, when I got it in 2018, I first put it in my hands and started playing it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember.
Right.
This is what it felt like, And yeah, man.
You're like, this is why.
Yeah, you can't beat a Rickenbacker. I mean, and they cost. I mean, they're not cheap. They're not the most expensive, but they're the best. They're one of the first electric basses. I mean, they've been making electric basses since like 1931.
Wow. Right.
Yeah.
I'm partial to my Jackson. I've got two. I've got my guitar, my axe, and my Jackson bass.
All right.
Yeah, man. Morgan.
Yeah, Jackson's good.
Morgan says James has been told that by several other musicians about the bass, and that would be like you were my influence, and I get that, man.
Look, I love that because I mean, that's a legacy right there. Even if like, you know, it doesn't matter if I don't make it into like some kind of national magazine or something like that. The fact that there are people out there that play bass or started playing bass again because of me, that's awesome, man. That's my legacy. It's like
Right.
I got somebody back on it. And that's awesome.
Well, Mr. Roundtree, let me ask you this one. Shout out to all of the guys up there in the Facebook land. That'd be Mr. Daryl Milbauer, Lisa Ayo, Airbrush Michelle, Angela Black, and Laura Joe. Barbara Borcher's up in there. I think Larry's hiding out on YouTube. Oh, look. One of your favorite places, again, you told me not to talk about you, but I've got to kind of talk about you.
Okay.
When did you first, like, okay, I understand 7 years old, like, yada, yada, you were really young, picked up the bass, and you started slapping. At what point did you enter a band? At what point did you enter into the circle of bullshit? Drama.
My first band, I guess you'd say, was like, I was probably 13, I guess, and it was just jamming with a couple of kids down the street in the living room, and just kind of making stuff up. It wasn't a band like we know a band. It was more like kids that went out and rode bikes and all together and played football and video games. Oh, well, let's play music too, and it wasn't like a band thing. As far as I tried getting bands together for so long, and man, it just didn't work. I mean, it was a small town, a lot of cliques out here, and a lot of people played music, but they just didn't want to play with me, So,
Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, I moved out here, I'm still the outcast to a degree, I mean, I don't have one of those last names that they have out here and all. So, like, I just kept playing and practicing, and eventually I got onto the Metairie scene, which is a town right next to New Orleans, which is pretty much any heavy metal band that you can think of from this part of Louisiana came from Metairie. That was where the metal scene was. And
Yep.
so I just went and started hanging out at the bars and meeting people, and long story not so short, I hooked up with a drummer, and got a couple of my friends together with this guy, and we just formed like a cover band, like doing like Metallica and Megadeth and Black Sabbath and stuff like that. And that was the first band I gigged with. I played like 2 gigs. My first, we played 2 gigs. The second gig we broke up a week before we played the gig, but we played the gig anyway.
Damn! Don't you love that one?
Oh yeah, it was so much bullshit, and it was all because of the guitar player we got. He got in there, and he had his own. I can't think of the word. He had his own ideas what he wanted to do, and he came in basically scouting people in the band to play in his band.
They all do. They all do.
Dude, we thought we were getting a guitar player, and he was a great guitar player, man. And kind of weird little dude or whatever, but great guitar player. And he was just constantly working it. He was just constantly, diplomacy, trying to, like, it was all a business to him. He was like, I'm going to get this guy, and I'm going to take that. I don't need him. I don't need this one. I got this. And that's what he came in and did, and eventually broke up the band, And,
Oh man.
yeah, but it was just a cover band. But it's pretty funny. The first gig I ever played was in front of 4 people, and 2 of them were my friends, and the 2 of them that weren't my friends left like 3 songs in. So that was my first gig.
All right. So what happened? So okay. Again, that was a traumatic experience for you. I know it was. Okay. Trust me. I know that it was. I remember the first band I was in was called I told you one of these days I'll tell you the story. Indecent Exposure.
All right.
And
that was the name of the band? Or
that was the name of the band.
Okay.
And how the band got named Indecent Exposure was because of right here. I was I'd say I think 17 years old, still unable to drink because even then, back then, it was like, they were like wanting to pass the law 18 to 21. We knew about that, and it finally passed, yada, yada, yada. So you know how that went, right?
Right.
All right, so what ended up happening is I used to play at a place called Rumors Nightclub. And only reason I say I was playing there was because I was the little dude that would ride his bicycle and continually follow a band called Fox. Okay? And I'd always have my drumsticks with me. I've got the same bicycle I rode to Rumors in my garage now. It is a Diamondback from the 80s.
Really?
Oh, shit, yeah. I'll show it to you.
Awesome.
I think I did show it to you. Didn't I show you my Diamondback?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
We'll do that. I'll show you.
Yeah.
All
I'll
right.
look at it again. Yeah.
So what ended up happening is I would over and over and over go to this bar, and I was it started with sweeping floors. Literally, it started with sweeping floors, and I loved their song, old hair metal 80s. Yada, yada, yada. I'd take my drumsticks down. I'd like beat on shit and blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, I met some guys at that bar, and they're like, oh, you're a drummer. I'm going, no, I am, yeah, but,
Right.
nevertheless, I ended up filling in. I was asked by Fox's drummer because the dude seen me drumming to his shit. He seen me air drumming to his stuff. And he like,
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's like, turns to me, and he was shit-faced. He was absolutely obliterated. He's like, yo, he's like, Matt. He's like, you want to drum to this? I'm going. He's like, you drum the next song. I'm going. Yeah. Dude, I was all over it.
Nice.
Long story short, I did. I got to play one of their songs. It's called Hellbent on Heels. That's it. Hellbent on Heels.
Right.
Now, mind you, I played a song that I wrote. I met a chick there, and I remember I wrote a song called Hell on Heels.
Mm-hmm.
So it was on piggyback up on their Hell on Heels. Okay.
Right.
So anyway, nevertheless, I got to meet these guys, and I kept going there over and over and over, playing. I would play some of their stuff over, right? And I got drunk, bro. I got drunk with my guys that we were like practicing with that I met there at that bar. And I went to the back of the bar. The entire bathroom is full. I am whizzing out their back door, literally the back of the kitchen back door. Dude, I had no idea there was a cop car back there. I had no idea that there was a cop there. And the dude literally the chick and the dude shined their light on me. So, AKA indecent exposure. So me and the little guitar player, we found our singer, and dude, we have all got these stories.
Right.
But that's how we formed the band Indecent Exposure, is because I got written up for indecent exposure.
There's always a story, man.
Dude.
There's a story behind every band name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
The biggest gig your own self has played in, and then we'll get into the production stuff. Let's talk a little bit about you. The bars. What the biggest bar you've ever played in? How many people?
I mean, the biggest bar I played in was Tipitina's as far as size, but not a crowd. The biggest crowd I ever played for was about 3,000.
Damn.
It was at an auditorium in Houma, and we opened up for Smash Mouth on Thanksgiving Day, and that was was the biggest one.
Yes.
Yeah, that was if anybody remembers Smash Mouth 90s stuff, but they were big time. That was when they were like top of the charts and all, and the place was sold out. And I'll tell you what, man, just a little quick story on that one.
Hit it.
They had there was a 4-band lineup. We were the first band up, and we brought a bunch of friends because it was around the area where we basically were based out of, and they had like the curtains in front of the stage, and it was the big production where they announced the band, you know, please welcome, yada, and they open up the curtains and everybody goes nuts or whatever. And dude, so we got there and we loaded in, and there was dressing rooms, and we basically stayed in the dressing rooms, or we went out back to smoke or something, you know. We didn't really see the crowd or the arena. We saw the empty arena when we got there, but we never saw the crowd before we went on. And when it came our time, you know, we're standing, well, again, we didn't see the crowd. We're standing behind this big curtain. And so and the name of the band was Blanket. So, you know, what they call a voice of God, when, you know, you hear that announcement or something and you know where it's coming from in production, it's called VOG, the voice of God.
Right.
Voice of God comes on and said, please welcome Blanket. And the curtains open up and and the lights are down and people are cheering and all like that. And dude, for that second, I'm looking up at people. I've never had that before, where I'm looking up and I'm seeing people everywhere. And for like a couple of seconds, me and the rest of the band, we just kind of looked at each other like, wow.
Oh
and
my
then,
God.
Right. And we all were like smiling, you know, like, oh man, this is a shit, you know. And then the drummer started the 4 count for the first song, and we kicked in, and I couldn't tell you anything about that gig, man, but I'll tell you this.
I don't even, because you were drunk, or is it because you were like just like?
No, because I was just mind blown.
Mind blown, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, this was like 1997, and I'll tell you what, man, you know, people talk about, you know, they're smoking weed and they're drinking and all this stuff. I can never get as high as I got right then. That is the highest I have ever been, and I wasn't on anything.
I know what you're saying. The adrenaline,
you know?
the damn it, you can't.
Yeah.
It's like racing motorcycles or something, dude. The adrenaline rush.
And dude, the first song we played, and dude, look, this was like, you know, we had 2 girls singing. It was kind of like alternative, like rock. It was heavy, but it wasn't like, you know, thrash metal or anything like that. And the first song we played it's jamming song, but it's not anything thrashy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, a pit broke out, like 200 people in the pit.
Damn.
Dude,
damn.
Dude, I was like I said, man, I will never be able to get that high.
Oh,
I don't know how much weed I smoke.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Your honey just dropped a really good comment, and I'm gonna tell you, she's nailing it with this comment. And that is, I just know the most magical part of performing live is whenever the audience starts singing your songs.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to feel amazing, and it does.
Oh yeah,
it does.
Yes, it does. That's the best.
It is.
That is the best, because then they've listened to it. You know they've listened to it. You know they're paying attention to it, and you know they've been following you for a minute.
Right.
And they really like it because they've learned the lyrics and all. But yeah, when the crowd starts singing along, man, you really want to make your favorite band happy, go sing along with their songs, man. And nothing like it.
This is one of the reasons why I've been trying so desperate here. I run up here, I don't know if you know this or not, but on Facebook I run a group called Music Scene Ohio. Okay.
You told me about that before, yeah.
Yeah, I run MSO, and it's a spin-off of Scene Magazine. Okay, I used to write up articles and shit for Scene Magazine at different local bands here in Akron.
Yeah,
and,
I remember you told me about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll explain. That's a whole other story, but nevertheless, it's local to me. To me, it is supporting your local musicians, your local music, because
right.
That to me is where it starts. I mean, it literally starts there, and I don't know about y'all, but we're watching the venues here, like they're starting to dwindle with places for us to play.
Right.
And that's really sad. It's really, really sad to watch that, because you know the music scene here is the music scene here is dwindling. Right. Is that happening down in Orleans?
Yep, it's dwindling everywhere. It's partially because people aren't going out anymore. If you you have YouTube and all this stuff, you want to see a band play, all they have to do is go play a few shows and put out a live video, and then everybody else just sits home and listen to it. And it's not as many. It doesn't seem like people are as impressed by musicianship anymore as they used to be. Like, the whole reason to go see a band live is to watch these guys do what they did on the album and watch the talent, and see if they could pull it off, honestly. And
Yeah.
you just don't see that anymore. I mean, all music these days is all done on computer, not even AI, talking about, like Pro Tools or something like along that, whatever the newest, program is for it. But, it doesn't take anything to be a multi-million-dollar star. And the music that people are listening to, it's not a lot of natural music. It's not like guitars and horns and this and that. It's all done on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
It's all synthesized, and when you really need a band for it. I mean, so yeah, it sucks, man. It's definitely. Hopefully, it'll come back one day. I don't know with the technology if it can, but it's been dwindling for a while. What happened down here, and I said this years and years ago, is that when I was coming up, when I was like a teenager and all, we used to have all ages shows. And, I was like, 16, 17 years old, running around in a mosh pit, to like local bands and stuff.
Right.
And I mean, dude, when I say all ages, I mean, I'm 16, 17 years old in a pit with like 11-year-olds. I mean, it was really, really all ages. And, it was great. They rent out the VFW halls, and you get like hot dogs and Cokes for 50 cents and just slam all night,
Right.
And a lot of those all ages places closed down because of insurance and security and all this stuff. So you had an entire generation or two that came up that didn't get to see that as a kid. Because what happened with us is all those people that were going to the all ages shows, once we all came of age and got in our 20s, then we all went to the bars that were playing the same music, and then all of a sudden the bars were packed. I mean, Morgan can tell you probably, like in the 90s, you could go to a bar around here and watch some heavy bands, and you'd have 400, 500 people there. You're not going to get that anymore unless, there's somebody that's established already.
Right.
Like Crowbar or Acid Bath or whatever.
Miss Airbrusher Michelle says, there's a lot of amazing bands there. I don't know where she's talking about spring break in college. Oh, Florida. Hell yeah. Yeah. Michelle's saying, lots of bands are. She's named Exodus, Chevelle, Hailstorm. Big names. Asking Alexandria, which is really, to be honest with you, is a really good band. I like Asking Alexandria. I
think I heard them a long time ago, but I don't remember what they sounded like, honestly. But
come on, man.
You see, this is the thing. You gotta you gotta go. This is the deal. All of those bands, or most of them, I can't say all of them because some of them lucked out, but most of those bands started out playing for $5 a night at some dive bar.
Right.
And so, and sooner or later, now that they're big, you're going to go pay $75 or $100 for a ticket.
No, I'm not.
Or more.
Right, or more.
But if you go, what I would suggest to people, if you really want to see a music scene grow, is you have to go and grow it yourself.
Exactly.
Find out where some bands are playing. Find out, there's bars that cater to certain types of music and certain bands. Go out there one night. The cover charge, you're not going to spend no more than $10 on a cover charge anywhere for a local band. Go out, go buy a T-shirt, or just go drink some beers. Go to the bar, drink a 6-pack. You've helped the bar out. The bar says, "Oh well, this band brought me in some money." Not only did they have a bunch of people paying cover, but they brought in a bunch of alcoholics, and we made some money tonight. It's like that's what the clubs want to see. And then
support your local music.
Yes,
support your local music.
It all starts locally. At one time, Aerosmith was playing for $3 a night,
right?
At some little dive bar, But now, I'm sure a lot of people went and saw them back then, And you could be one of those people that when the next great band gets up there, say, "Man, I saw them back at this bar, and I hung out with them afterwards." I mean, you never know, but it takes the people make the scene. Scene isn't going to make itself. You got to go out there and you got to get the warm bodies in the club.
Our AI girl down there supporting one of my favorite bands of all time, and that's
Motley Crue.
Yeah, Motley Crue. You know, they first started out. Come on, we've all seen that the makeup or the remake of the Crue movie.
I haven't.
You've not
but
seen
I know
it?
some friends of, no, but some of it was filmed down here, and I know I got some friends of mine that were in it, so I guess I need to watch it one day. See if I
Oh,
can see it.
dude, it is your life, my life on steroids.
Right.
I don't. Damn, the name is slipping my mind. Oh my God. I don't even know the name of the movie. I mean, I know the name of the movie, but I said, that's right here. Right. It's anyway. Nevertheless, there again, they started out at the Lucky in Los Angeles, California, and
right.
dude, the cover charge probably back then in the 80s was either free or maybe $5.
Right. Right. Well, L.A. and all, and I don't know if it's like this in Ohio. It's not like this down here, but L.A. and all, even back then, what they used to do is you had to pay to play. So basically, they would give you 100 tickets, and you would have to sell them, and you have to sell as many as possible, and then you'd split the money with the bar.
Right.
And that's how you got people in. And then what they would do is, when people would come in that night, they would ask them, "Who are you here to see?" Say you got 3 bands playing, and say, "Oh, I'm here to see Motley Crue." I'm here to see, Warren or whatever the hell it was, and they would keep track of that, and whoever was bringing the most people, that's who they invite back.
Bingo! David called it. David Collette, who, welcome to the Matrix, man. David,
my boy Dave.
Dave got it. He's like the dirt, and yes, that movie. I shit you not, for any musician that has been in and out of bands their entire life, that they've wanted to make it but didn't make it. I swear to God, that movie that is our life.
All right.
But we just didn't make it big. That movie is badass, dude. It truly is. The drugs, the sex, the rock and roll, it is our life.
I'm gonna have to watch it because now I got 2 recommendations. You and Dave.
Hey,
boy, man.
You
Dave,
called it, bro. Dave, you called it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Dave's a good guy. He's a fellow stagehand, man. Me and him used to run Spotlight for the Hornets games.
Right.
New Orleans had the New Orleans Hornets, a basketball team. Now it's the Pelicans, but at the time it was the Hornets, and me and him used to run Spotlight.
I'll be down.
We'd be cracking up there because we live right near each other. So I was the supervisor, so I'd say, "Hey, put Dave on the call." So I'd just drive across the canal, pick him up, and then we'd go to work.
Well, hell, that was easy. That was easy.
You don't want to hear my Motley Crue stories because it's going to blow your image of them. The stagehand stories is not a pretty sight when it comes to Motley Crue, but
Were they? Well, I don't know. I first seen them at a place that's no longer even in existence, up in Richfield, Ohio. It's called the Richfield Coliseum. It's gone. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility. I had to make sure. Now, here's my connection. I got to throw a drumstick at Tommy Lee, and I literally caught him at the bottom of his heel, and he turned around. He looked at me like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, bro. And I got escorted away by security. He's like, whoa. And he's come back. He's like, who is that little dude? Dude, I've got a whole lot of shitstone of stories, but never. Dude's like, I literally got to meet Tommy Lee, and that's when, funny enough, I'm a computer guy, and I've always been a computer guy. I was there whenever he first, they were no longer going to tour, yada yada yada, and they were debating on it. It's whenever Mick announced he was fucked up,
right?
And Tommy Lee started what's called Tommyland on Tommyland.com, right? I'm like, I've always kind of like talked to him online, even online as just like I know the dude, but I don't know. I know him, but I don't know him, right? That one little incident, I'm like, my bro, right?
Right.
So
he interacted
dude,
with me.
I'm like, yeah, oh my God, he touched me, right?
Right.
But nevertheless, dude, I gave my dude the drumstick. I literally threw it down the hall, and it bounced off of the fucking wall and off of his off his leg, and he's like, come over and shook my hand. I'm like, bro, I'm your biggest fan type shit, right?
Right.
Yeah, Larry's like, nice shirt. Oh yeah, to me, shout out to Larry Hawkins. He's the one who go out and bought me my Matrix Cycle shirt.
Nice.
But dude, I'm like, yeah, we've all kind of had those incidences, those things, which plays into, okay. I asked you about the biggest place you've played in. What was the most nicest facility that you've played in? Not largest. I'm talking nicest. I'm talking catered to you all, took care of you all, and was fucking nice. Absolutely nice. Because we do have those peace places.
Right. They're very few and far between. Yeah. Jesus, man. Jesus. I played hundreds of gigs.
You think
definitely no bars in New Orleans. I could tell you that.
Okay, well you've traveled.
Whatever the nicest one was, it wasn't around here.
Your band's traveled though, right? You've traveled many places.
Yeah.
See, mine hasn't. I was just a little shit stain here in Akron, Ohio, bro.
I know. It's all good. I know what it was. It was and Morgan went with me to this gig, and I one of the videos I sent you, the live video of me playing up there.
Yeah.
That was the gig. It was the place called the Boiler Room in Dallas, and it was owned by the guys in Drowning Pool.
Oh.
That was its claim to fame.
Shit.
And dude, I gotta say, man, it was just the way the bar was laid out was nice, and it was some of the most professional sound I have ever heard in my life for a bar. Like, I'll tell you what, man, if you ever, I know we're getting old and, the band thing's kind of, passe now, but if you would ever get the chance to go to the Dallas-Fort Worth area and play a gig or something, Dallas-Fort Worth is the shit, dude. If I could move anywhere, and me and Morgan, and I think she'd agree with me on this, we moved to Dallas.
Dallas?
Yeah, because, man, they have got their shit together, dude. The food's better. The bars are more professional. The people are nicer. Dude, you set up a show of like 5 bands, and you tell people, okay, the first band goes on at 7:30. The place is packed at 7:30. And if the last band doesn't end until 1 in the morning, the place is packed at 1 in the morning.
What?
I mean, they love their music, dude.
That's a good thing.
Oh, yeah, man. Texas is shit. Houston's kind of weird, I mean, they got their shit together too. But Dallas, Fort Worth, man, what a great town. It really is.
David Nash is throwing props to Dallas as well.
Yeah.
And your boy like threw Motley Crue under the bus. Oh, he ruined my rose-colored glasses. David's like, Motley Crue got into fights with bikers at the dungeon in the French quarters.
Yeah. Well,
I can imagine that shit.
I didn't know about that part. I know it from a production standpoint. Like my first concert that I ever saw was Motley Crue and Ozzy.
Right.
Okay, so there's that. And I will tell you, even back then, I was like 13, 14 years old. I knew that Nikki Sixx wasn't playing that bass. I knew it from the time he walked out on stage. The first song they played, I'm like, he's not playing that. And I wasn't even a bass player, really. I just could tell. But anyway, so from a production standpoint, I don't care. They always had the biggest bunch of assholes for a road crew. And they would go in and push the limits of the arena that we were in. And what I mean by that, when they came to UNO Arena one year, and the UNO, the grid at the top of the arena, the I-beams and all like that, is where we hang all the sound and lights and everything like that from. Our UNO Arena was tested for like 40,000 pounds. I think 45 at most. You could push it to like 45. They hung 85,000 pounds of gear in there. They refused to cut anything down. We told them, we said, this is twice the amount for this building. You can't be hanging this. And they refused, and they said, we'll just turn around. Well, I mean, you got so much money invested in the show. You got a sold-out arena. What are you going to do at that point? So they let them go. but there were some beams that actually bent down 6 inches after that show was over.
Damn.
The entire top grid, when we were pulling up when we were motoring up the speaker clusters, the entire grid was bouncing because we had riggers in the ceiling, and they were like, "Oh shit," you know. And after it was over, they actually had to send in like engineers and all to test to retest the structural integrity
of the building. Dude.
Yeah, because they refused, and we telling them, you know, it's like, dude, this is a safety thing. You do realize one of these beams breaks and drops, you know, all this freaking sound on somebody. You guys are going to have a lawsuit that's going to cut this tour over. You know, your tour's going to be over.
Right.
And they just didn't care, man. And their road crew, their show guys are just the biggest assholes. Them and Green Day's road crew were the biggest assholes I've ever worked with, ever. Just shit. But
well, we're gonna come back. I mean, I'm gonna try to queue up your that video.
Okay.
I'm gonna try.
Oh Lord.
What you told me you sent it to me to share. You shared it with me, right? Did you want you want me to share it?
Yeah, no, you can. You know, I mean, that's fine. It's, you know, it's actually a good video. The sound quality is good because you can hear the bass. So. All
right. Well,
Morgan took that video, by the way.
Not
shout out to my baby love.
I'm gonna try on the other side of this. On the other side of the break, I want to go there with you and share that screen.
Okay.
That way I can make sure I can find that video because I buried it talking to you.
Right.
I try to have everything like right up front. Let me see. All right. So okay, again, the first half of the show I want to talk about you. Okay, just you, your band, blah blah blah, your stuff. But nevertheless, on the other side of the break, I want to talk about your production. You know how, when, etc. Because again, I know from the band side it was drug, sex, rock and roll type shit that you've seen. Right? You ain't gotta, again, don't call out names of bands, blah blah blah. But
no.
But nevertheless, I mean, you've seen it. I mean, you firsthand seen that shit.
Well, to a degree, yes. I mean, it's not like I was invited to the backstage parties. I was just a stagehand, the dirty, nasty, stinking, whatever.
Right.
You know. But, I mean, I heard the stories, and I knew some of what was going on behind the stage, because, I mean, or not behind the stage, but in the dressing rooms, you know, because they would find, you know, these bands would come into town, and they didn't know where to get the drugs at. So they would ask the local guys, and I knew some of the local guys that were going out and making runs, and they'd come back and tell me, well, you said not to name the bands. But
right. Don't.
It's a band from the 70s that was really popular. They had a lot of songs on the radio, and the guitar player had a very unique guitar. I'll just put that out there. And I knew the guy that went and got them some blow, and he came back. And he was like, dude. He goes, dude, that party in 70s style in there. I was like, oh shit. I was like, really? He's like, oh yeah, man. It's like they may not survive this one, but I was like, all right, well. At least they did it in New Orleans, you know.
Right. I guess. Yeah. All right, I think I got my window capture up here. I just gotta. Yeah, I think so. I just gotta. Let me make sure. I'm wanting to make sure because whenever we come back from the break, that's what we'll do. I'll play that video. And on top of that, I don't think you'll be able to hear it unless you like go listen to Morgan. Because I don't have via my connection with you shareable audio. Shareable audio.
Sounds like. I know what it sounds like. It's all good.
Right. It's this song. Shit. I just accidentally got rid of you. This song that is how long is this? I'm sorry. It's 2:16.
Yeah, it's a short song. It's really short. It's a song that the guitar player singer wrote for his little son. Because his son liked to go on the beach and stuff. And,
right.
It was for and about his son.
And the name of this song is Bad Grass?
No, that's the name of the band. The song's called Little Castaway.
Little Castaway. Okay. Yeah, awesome. Awesome sauce. All right, man. Yeah, just hang tight. You and I are gonna take it. I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee. These guys are gonna listen to the ads. Right. And yeah, whenever we come back, you and I are gonna be jamming out to Little Castaway. Cool.
Cool. Sounds good, man.
All right. We are joined with Mr. James Roundtree, Beach Chicken, here on the Matrix Minds, my friends. You guys don't go anywhere. And again, share this broadcast, share this podcast. Support your local music. Yep. Support your local podcast rule breakers. Welcome to the Matrix Minds. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Attention, free thinkers and truth seekers. The Matrix Minds is a platform powered by you, the listeners. We're 100% independent and listener funded, meaning your support keeps us going strong. If you believe in uncovering hidden truths and challenging the narratives, smash that subscribe button on matrixminds.us. Your generosity fuels the fire of freedom and makes a real difference. Join us in shaping the future of free thought. Looking for breathtaking photography that speaks for itself? Whether it's the raw beauty of nature, the sleek professionalism of corporate imagery, or the infinite wonders of the sky, Donovan Pudoka captures it all. With over 10 years of experience, Donovan's lens doesn't just take pictures, it tells stories. His work is perfect for travel publications, corporate branding, artistic prints, or anyone who appreciates stunning photography. If you need high-quality images that elevate your project, Donovan Pudoka delivers. Have we sparked your interest in Donovan's work? Check it out at matrixminds/Pudoka. My eye promises you, you will not be disappointed.
This CBD fluid is a whole flower fluid extracted from the cannabis flower. We don't use any heat, butane, or chemicals when we extract, so we get all of the components of the plant. All the CBD, CBG, CBA, all the terpenes, all the flavonoids. This allows our body to absorb at 60 to 90% rather than the average of 6 to 10% absorption you would get with a CBD oil. Because our bodies are made up of mostly water and this is a fluid, it's highly absorbable so that you're getting 500% more nutraceuticals per dose. We also have this available in our CBD spray as well as a muscle rub with all kinds of botanicals. You're going to absolutely love it.
Check it out, Brainiacs. MatrixMinds.live/CBD. The CBD I use. Feel free again. Feel alive again.
Hey there, Hunter. Go check out our friends at Colorado Custom Game Calls. They are all about creating a high-quality, custom, unique game calls at an affordable price. They are here for hunters that can't and won't pay upwards of $180 to $200 per game call. They pride themselves on giving their customers the opportunity to not only purchase an affordable and high-quality call, but to customize their game call to their liking. So listen up and go check them out. That's www.coloradocustomgamecalls.com. They got calls for all type of game, and all the game calls can be custom made to your own likeness. That's www.coloradocustomgamecalls.com. Tell them Matthew sent you from the Matrix Minds.
Okay, James, there we go. So let me ask you something, because I'm going to go back over here with you, right?
All right.
And that is this. Okay, so now I'm back here with you.
All right. Here we are.
Dude, your fingers are fast. You definitely got some fast-ass fingers, bro.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I grew up playing thrash metal. I had to train them, and they're not as fast as they used to be. I'm getting a little old now, but that was one of my things I tried to pride myself on. I appreciate you saying that, because I try to pride myself on the fact that I didn't need a pick. No matter how fast you played, I was going to keep up with you.
My fingers. I showed you my blister. That bastard, bro, was. I was playing to. What the hell was it? Which song was it? I want to probably say New Start. New Start was. That's a fast song. I wrote it.
Right.
I wrote it hard. I wrote it fat. I wrote it to be a fast song. Oh my god, dude! So playing New Start on a bass. Whew, oh,
Right.
Damn, bro! I had a blister on top of blisters.
Right.
I was trying to be you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like it'll do. You're like shut up, you little. It'll turn into a scab or a callus. All right, so. To your production career, right? Mm-hmm. At what point in your life did you go from you're like, to hell with the band drama, I'm gonna go be into the production, or did you play the fence? Was you playing the fence?
Well, I was doing both. I mean, I'm always going to be a musician,
right?
So there's no it's not like I get out of that part. I just It was a friend of mine who recently actually died earlier this year, but he was working as a stagehand doing production, and he kept wanting me to go out there, and oh, come on, man, come do it. And I had a kind of regular job. I was working two jobs actually. I was doing pouring concrete, and I was doing stucco at the time, and I was like, man, I ain't got time for all this. I got two jobs already. He's like, just come out there. So one night he dragged me out to a loadout, and it was Kenny G and Tony Braxton, and I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So we pull up, and the show was still going on. They hadn't started the loadout yet. He had to walk me in. It was kind of funny. He walked up to the guy that was signing everybody in, the supervisor, and he goes, hey man, this is the guy I told you about. And the guy goes, did you talk to me about him? And he's like, yeah. He's like, okay, sign him in. And he never talked to him about me.
So you just got like whisked in, and nobody asked questions, right?
No,
you just...
that's showbiz. That's how showbiz operates. And so he's just like, oh, you talked to me about it? Yeah, okay, all right, well, sign him in. And I went to work. They stuck a tag on me, and I was at work.
No shit. That's how you got it.
That's how I got it.
How old were you?
I guess I was 27, 28.
Oh, wow. Wow, bro, you've had a long career in this, man.
Yeah, I did it for a while, man. I love that job, man. They say if you have a job you love, you never work a day in your life. And
right.
I didn't work a single day for 22 years.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, when he walked me in there, the show was still going on, and we're backstage. We're coming from the dock, so all I'm seeing is I'm just seeing the back of the stage, and I'm seeing somewhat of the crowd and all like that. And man, I remember looking up there and seeing all that, and I was like, I'm home. I was like, I am home.
Wow.
And I was like, this is it. And then I worked that gig, and then because I signed in, they had me on there. I started getting phone calls from the company, and say, hey, are you available this day? Yep, sure am.
No kidding.
Yep, and I go out and do another gig. The greatest thing about the entertainment industry is band practice is a legitimate excuse to miss work. Like if they got a gig going on, and you say, "Oh, right? my band's got practice that night." Oh, no shit. Okay, yeah, go do that, man. Take care of it. That's like a legitimate excuse. Yeah.
I can tell honestly, I've never gotten to that point, dude. And being a professional driver and spending 31 years on the road, I have passed tour buses. I'm talking, these son of a bitches are decked the fuck out, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I've seen titties on the window of buses
Right.
going down the road. You name it, right? But
Right.
I cannot imagine like literally doing that. I am not kidding you. What I have
Right.
thought about though is drive, dude. I've wanted to drive for some bands. I would have probably loved to have done that, but I just
Right.
never did. I never did.
Yeah. The thing is that most of the bands don't travel on the buses. The bands usually travel by plane, and then they go to a hotel room, and then we have what's called runners, and everybody's got their different assignments for the day, and a runner is somebody who drives the van and goes and picks up the band from the hotel, or